Now here's a little experiment about adding some additional lights to the front of your Tacoma. I have some of these little lights that I guess are popular now, these little pod LED lights, and I've been thinking about an extra set right here, kind of near the middle, to help with driving on these dark roads. And of course, ideally I'd like an ARB bull bar or something like that. Maybe a great place to mount them, of course. And then there are other options like a bull bar like this, but this may be one of the most economical options for a set of lights, or even the long LED light bar. I've tried out something that you may have seen, and I've wondered how it would work on the Tacoma with its current bumper, and that's a license plate bracket mount. And this is it. These often come, you've probably seen them online, as a kit with lights and this mounting bracket. You'll want to make sure you get one that has a wiring harness as well, because if it seems like a good deal without the wiring harness, a decent one will add significantly to the price. So here it is, kind of meant to go over where the license plate bracket would normally go, and it feels quite light. It's metal, of course. My magnets tell me it's not steel, so I'm guessing maybe aluminum, and it has some sort of black covering here. Don't know if that's powder coated or not, but it does feel very light. I'll tell you, that's one thing about it right there. So I'm not sure how much pressure or any kind of damage I'd want to put against this. Looks like it might just crumple up in any type of automotive situation. You can see with all the holes on this bracket, you have a variety of mounting solutions. Now, of course, your standard license plate holes are, should be uniform. And so you can see I can put this right here, and you can see that's where the license plate, or whatever kind of front plate, bracket mounted in, right in there. And of course, I could also raise it up, something like that, if I wanted. I guess the main thing is going to be where I would want the lights to go on this. And could you mount it upside down like that? I mean, I guess that's a possibility as well, as long as you have some holes to screw it into. So here it is. I kind of mounted it in the normal place and put the plate on there. Just being held on by the normal license plate bolts there, which certainly aren't very heavy duty. And looking around how I would mount it to the bumper, I chose this because the Tacoma's bumper is kind of curved right here, so mounting it higher seemed like it wasn't really sitting that sturdy. So this is about as sturdy as it gets. You can see how it looks on the Tacoma bumper right there. If you've ever been curious about this particular option. The single light bars that go across to mount on here, you can see the holes on the top are usually 20 inches, and you can sort of see how this thing fits right on there. Now we've got all these extra holes that could give it a bit more, I guess, a bit more stability there. It feels fairly stable, but it is light, and I can see it. I can wobble it a little bit just because, you can wobble the bumper. The bumper is this, plastic kind of thing. So this is just going to give right away in any type of minor collision or anything. For it to be more stable, you'd have to use some of these holes right here. You can see right here we're not going to get anything. You'd have to use something right here and right here. Or maybe something, say, there are some holes that go behind the license plate, but then you'd have the top of your bolt or screw kind of protruding there a bit. So the thing is, there's just not a whole lot to mount this to on the stock Tacoma bumper. Here I'm looking at the bumper from underneath, and you can see It's where the license plate is. So right here I'm poking my hand through. Right here next to that's where the license plate goes. And then there's the other side of the plate. So how's this thing attaching in here? You can see it's all open. There's just not much for it to go to. Now I can feel a little right in here. Not sure I can, oh there it is. I can feel this little protrusion, and that's where the screw goes in that mounts the license plate. So there's one here and there's one right over there. And so that's all that's holding on that that mount for the plate and the lights. And anything else you'd want to put it on, I guess it'd be a little more stable, but you'd just be screwing through this plastic of the bumper and just having a screw, come here. It would hold it a little bit more on either side. But that's, you can see from here at this point here, that's all you have. There's really no other place it can go. The frame is starting over here, and the bumper is kind of extended out here. So it's just nothing, no hardware, no anything you could mount that to with at least with the second generation Tacomas. This is your mount. Any other place would just be right here in this bumper material. There the light pods are on, installed there, in the way they're designed to be. So let's take a look at them. You can see that they've got this curved background here, or curved back, and you can adjust it by some Allen screws that are in there. But in order to do that, you have to take them off this bottom mounting bracket to adjust it. So hopefully I've got them on there where they should be. They feel sturdy enough. Like I say, you're certainly not going to want to bump into anything with this. And you can see it's only attached to the truck right there with the license plate mounts. And it might be a good idea to get a decent sized screw and just screw one in right there and put one screw right in there. There's no other attachment points with this second generation bumper. I'm not sure yet if I want to put a hole in my bumper for that, but that's about the only place to do it there. So the lights are mounted pretty close together, and you could also put like a 20-inch or so light bar on it as well. So that's where they are at the moment, and you can see the places for mounting at the top. So I've just run the cords through here. It has a pretty decent wiring harness. Now you will have to get some male blade connectors to go on the on these cables right here. So a total of 4, 2 positive and negative for each one, to connect into the harness. So it has the wire stripped for it, but doesn't have any connector. And I've just got them connected through there and the cable running here. If we take another look, there's the relay. So I've put the relay on. Seems like all wiring harnesses come with a relay these days, and it's a pretty good idea. And along with a lot of other lights and things, I've got various ground items going in here, and then I just put the there's a bolt right in here that's positive in this fuse box here, and so I just wired the positive terminal there. So at the moment it's ground here, positive in here, so it's on, it's hot all the time, even if the car is off. And it comes with an inline fuse, which is nice, and then a lot of extra cable to feed through the firewall there. Now the real question is where to put the light switch on the inside, and so I've been struggling with that. You can see here's the one light switch I've added since I wasn't lucky enough to get a Tacoma with the differential lock. So I had this one blank switch here. And I was looking at various places. I thought this might be a good place, but you really can't do it here because if you pull apart this lower dash, there's a big part of a clip that clips into this part here, and that takes up a good bit of space right here. So even though this looks open here on the outside, it's not on the inside. You have right around here it's built up for a clip that plugs in there. So I guess one idea could have been right here. This is pretty open. And I looked around for other areas. I suppose one possibility might be here if I want to drill into all this. What I ended up doing was I had this little bracket hanging around for a rectangular switch, and so I just carved it out a bit and then put this light switch right in there. So this is what it comes with. A lot of these wiring harnesses have this by default. You could swap this out for something. So anyway, there it is. It's tucked in pretty nicely here, so it's not going to get in the way, and yet I can still access it. And I just ran the wires through here where my parking brake release is, or parking brake, and so just kind of ran the wires through there and all under here, and where it comes to the little gasket and the firewall through there. So it's pretty easy to do. And so turn it on, of course, it illuminates. And this is what the lights look on when they're on. As far as daytime, it looks like it would be pretty good. But the real thing would be to test them out at night and see how they help out the driving situation. Okay, here we are, driving alongside or down a really dark road. So I'll just turn on the additional driving lights here. And there they go. Definitely a really cool color temperature. And they add quite a bit, even lighting up a good bit to the side and the front of the road. Let's turn these off again. There we go. Turn them back on. So they're pretty nice. I've got them aiming pretty straight, certainly not heading up. So really wanting to sort of hit the road where I can get some extra visibility right in front of me. And it looks like they're doing a good job there. So, not a whole lot of money, but working well so far. So there they are, pretty good, inexpensive way to add lights to the front of your Tacoma, or really any vehicle. So, very bright, seem to be decent enough quality. Again, all this little guy here is just for mounting. There's not a whole lot else going on there, so I definitely would like something that is a bit more protection and a bit more rugged, but that'll have to be for another time, different installation someday.